What's up, YouTube? ODST Journal back again, and today I'm actually pretty excited. I get to kind of break the mold of the videos I've been doing lately for the past a little over a month. I get to do my first Operation Trebuchet video here in a while, and it's just in time. It's been a little while since I've done one of these, so I'm really looking forward to getting through this, even though there's not a lot to show off for you guys. Now, sadly, I was hoping to have gameplay for this video. I'll probably add a little bit of single player, but mostly it's going to be pictures. Uh, Unfortunately, Fox Gaming's supposed to be back up, but nobody's playing anymore. So what are you gonna do? I played for a little bit last night. There's a couple people on, but no mission ever got going. So without further talking about, let's get into it. So there's been a few changes over the past month since actually since August 7th. They've been putting out updates that I haven't seen because I don't generally follow the mod DB page, because for a long time it had not been getting updated, and Reddit or the uh, Bohemia Interactive forums were a better source to go to. So I missed out on some things that got posted. Now, the first thing is the M73 is being reworked. Now, if you guys are unfamiliar with the M73, that's already currently in the mod. It is the light machine gun. It's the white light machine gun. The rework, the picture you guys are seeing, it's not a super great picture. It's not a whole bunch of different angles, but basically it's just an early work in progress. It looks very similar to the current model in game at a glance. I'm not sure how that rework's going to change the model exactly. There's some issues they had with the current attachments that when you reloaded and you lifted up the top, the iron sights on the attachment would go down below the gun. This version is more similar to the assault rifle on the front end. It's all black instead of white and black. Uh, the texture is still very early on though. It's very similar. This doesn't seem a whole lot that's changed at a glance. There is a possibility that we might see an ammo counter with this variant, although McChaffey, who posted this on August 7th originally, said that that's to be announced at a later time, and nothing's been brought up about it since. Switching gears to something a little bit smaller, we've got the M6C has been finished. Those of you who aren't as familiar with the Halo pistol line, the M6G is currently the one in game. That's the Halo 3 pistol. The M6C is the Halo 2 and Halo 3 ODST variant, and those vary depending on attachments. Now, some people have asked if this is going to be the same pistol with just some attachments added to it. It's a totally different weapon, and it comes with various attachments. So the attachments you guys can expect with this weapon are a red dot sight, I believe, a compensator, a silencer, and I believe what looks like a laser designator will be included. I don't know if that's built onto the compensator or how that will work, but that's going to be included with the pistol. This pistol will have a lower muzzle velocity, so it's not going to have as much stopping power as the M6G, but it will fire at a higher rate of fire. So it shoots faster, but it doesn't have as much power, much like in Halo and how it operates. It's a fast pistol, but it's not as strong. So that's I've only got one picture. I was pretty sure a second picture had been released, but I can't find it now. For that included an image of the silencer and some other stuff. So that's all we got for the pistol right now. I forgot an extended magazine too. That's gonna be included as well. That one's fairly important, I'm sure, because that one's a pretty big difference on how how survivable it is as a weapon. And that's all there is for modeling news as far as Operation Trebuchet's main thing goes. They did release a album of Operation Trebuchet music. I had planned to leave in with a small clip of the music, and unfortunately, like I said, I didn't have the gameplay, so this isn't gonna have the length I had originally hoped. If I can get gameplay at a later time, I'll lead in with the music. Don't expect it at this point, guys, because I'm looking to get this video out tonight. So we'll go over to the First Contact side of the mod. Now, First Contact has been even more quiet than Operation Trebuchet, which is saying something since Operation Trebuchet has been like tight-lipped, undercover mode. On the 25th of August, they showed off the Spirit dropship. Now, there is no size comparison compared to a person like they've done for the longsword. Presumably, anybody who sits inside the side compartments will be able to stand up, although that's not been confirmed or denied in any way, shape, or form. The current model has a fairly sizable change compared to the actual like Halo version, and that's that the cockpit has been given a window. Now, given Arma's, I don't want to call it limitations, but given the issues that you might have with Arma if you don't have the good computer to run like a picture-in-picture mode or something, that would make this a very difficult ship to fly because you'd be looking at nothing. You'd be like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Oh wait, I'm the one flying. Crash. So the windshield does give people with a less good PCer that can't run the picture-in-picture a option to maneuver around, although the window is really small. It's untextured at this moment, so it's kind of hard to tell what's going on with the window and the seats and stuff like that. But even with a small window, they still have like a little line dividing right down the middle, which means it looks like it's going to be really difficult to see out of the small window. Hopefully, there will be some form of picture-in-picture included on the sides of the window or something to increase your view or be able to see on your sides or something. Otherwise, this ship's going to be pretty much flown exclusively in third person. And that's a shame. I think it would be really awesome to fly something like this from the first person mode. And it'd be kind of interesting to see how people would do that. Really exciting addition, though. I think it's really cool to have another dropship, and especially a Covenant one. And the Spirit is my personal favorite of the two, just because it's a lot more unique than the Phantom, in my opinion. Phantom seems a little bit more conventional. It's different, but it at the same time, everybody's like inside this one big compartment, and it's got all these different ways they get out. It's like a tuning fork. So that's it for model news. Like I said, they released a new song, but not really a whole lot of other news has come out. Now, even with that news, we've only hit 7.5 minute mark, not even that far yet, and there's no more development news per se. Now, a lot of people have been asking, when's the next update? When's the next update? And that's not a surprise. I mean, obviously, this is one of the most popular mods for Arma, despite the fact that nobody actually seems to play it online anymore. Well, the next update hasn't been given a release date, but basically the biggest challenge they're currently facing is collision for the frigate. That and trying to get the Warthogs settled properly was a pretty big issue there for a while. I don't know if they've ever solved the Warthog because I know that was a while back. But the collision with the frigates is basically the most current problem with it. And that's something they're trying to hammer out and get set to go before they release the newest update. Now, the newest update will include the M6C, and that's another thing they were waiting on it, since that should be finished at this point in game and everything, as far as I'm aware. Presumably, we'll see the new release of the M73, as well as hopefully the other machine gun. And I forget what the actual number assigned to that one is. But now that's really been confirmed. The M6 is the most likely thing that we'll see added on. I'm sure there's going to be some other stuff. I think the frigate, though, is their biggest concern for this release. I'm guessing they'd like to actually get a physical frigate which you can walk around on added to the game. So we're still a ways off. And unfortunately, like I said, there's not really been any news shared with the vast majority of people through Reddit, through Bohemia, or any other source. So we're basically stuck waiting to hear more from the development team. And like I said, it's been kind of hush-hush. So what else is there that people have been talking about here? Well, Spartans are obviously still somewhat questioned. Spartans won't be included for some time. We won't see Spartans until sometime in 2016. So don't hold your breath there. It means they're at least, at least 3 months out. Probably wouldn't even see them until middle of 2016. So it's going to be quite a while before anybody sees any Spartans on the field. A lot of people have been saying the mod's dead, and unfortunately I'm kind of guilty of saying that too. That's not exactly a fair assessment because development continues on the mod. It is, like I said, one of the most downloaded mods for Arma. It's top Steam subscriptions. So I mean, it's a very hot mod right now. But if you go online and you look for a dedicated community, there are none. There's people who say they're dedicated and they try. I mean, there's people trying to be dedicated, but the servers are empty. There's nobody playing. Unfortunately, if you look on the Reddit or the Bohemia Interactive pages, these sites that would get 20, 30 hits a day at the peak of TEI are getting let's see here, one post September 12th here, we had one yesterday, and then the last one previous to that was actually September 11th, but before that was August 31st, so that's over a week without a post. That's a fairly long time for a mod of this size. So the mod isn't dead, but the community is certainly at a dwindling point. And my original theory was that we would see more people with the Covenant having been released, and that just didn't happen. Now, I don't know if that was because the Covenant just weren't at a really good point where they were really solid and had a lot of bugs and issues and stuff like that fixed, and obviously that wasn't the case with the Covenant when they released. So I'm not sure if that's why they didn't do so good at the release, if we didn't see a big uptick in the population. But I'm still holding out hope that once again we will see an uptick in the population. I really think that the most likely way we'll see that is through either Spartans or the Covenant. I mean, those are the two big things a lot of people want, and the Covenant basically is needed for Halo to feel truly Halo, and I think that's the thing that would catch the eye most of a big site like Kotaku, which had already previously covered Operation Trebuchet. I think if they see the Covenant and the Covenant's a good solid thing, and it's in a state similar to what the UNSC was when they were getting coverage, I think then we would see a big uptick in the community again. Now, would it get to a point where they would drop off and we'd be at the same point in the community again down the road? Yeah, probably. I mean, you can't really avoid that. Eventually, that's going to happen with anything. Look at games like Ark, 7 Days to Die, and stuff. It maintains its group of players. It maintains a group of people throughout its its life. People go back and play it from time to time, but ultimately, people play it for a week or two, 3 weeks, and then they get bored of it. They move to the next new thing, and I unfortunately feel this is the fate of Operation Trebuchet because a lot of people will go, "Oh, this is a really awesome, this Milsim Halo," but I feel that it's very core group because you've got your standard Arma players, which are Milsim, and it's like, oh, sci-fi kind of sucks type of attitude, and they've become a little bit more open to it in Arma 3. Arma 2 was basically like a sin to talk about sci-fi games for some people, but at the same time, your average player doesn't really like Milsim games either. So you basically have these two bigger groups, and then in the middle is your true subsect of people who are like, well, I like sci-fi games and I love Milsims, and this is a beautiful, beautiful thing, and I want to play it forever. And that's a much smaller group, unfortunately. So, I mean, you'll draw on those other people who are kind of fascinated by it and want to try something new, even though they might not necessarily like under normal circumstances. There's something about it that draws those crowds, and they come for a little while and they are entertained for a bit, but ultimately it's not their thing, so they leave again. So, I think that's kind of the current state of the community, is we're at a dwindling point, and I think that we will see an uptick eventually, but I do feel it's linked to the Covenant or the Spartans, and that in order to see that again, we will probably need coverage by like Kotaku or somebody again to bring that sort of uptick in the community back, or coverage by a bigger news site. Now, I've been covering Operation Trebuchet for a while, but all my followers from Operation Trebuchet have heard of me through the mod. Maybe a couple people have found out about the mod through me, but that's probably only a small handful of people, if that. I mean, I have friends I've gamed with for a while who have never heard of this mod. And then all of a sudden they come posting, and it's like, oh, dude, look at this awesome mod I found. It's like, yeah, I've been telling you guys about that for like the past like month and a half. Alright, so, like I said, I really don't have a whole lot of other news. This went on about 15 minutes. That's about what I was hoping for. Unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot to show you guys, so I'm going to have to try and find something to buffer out the video and add on a little bit of extra time to kill, just so it's not a bunch of pictures for 15 minutes. So ultimately, whatever does end up being the filler for that, I hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay. Any questions, just keep shooting them my way like always. Make sure to like, subscribe, share for future Operation Trebuchet content. I'm sorry guys, I got to the end of the video and then I just went brain dead. That was such a good recording too. Oh well. Anyways, guys, stay tuned for further Operation Trebuchet content and more videos from myself. Alright, and have a good night.